Welcome to this episode of Let's Make Millions. We're here in somewhat sunny Santa Monica here.
Chilly.
And I'm Rob Medved, CEO of Canella Media. Bill Raymond, my managing partner here. Today, incredible guest. You know, we've had some great people on. Greg Shane from ArtsUp LA is here to tell a quite emotional story. Does good work.
No, it's great. And, I think sitting here, hearing the story, I think, as entrepreneurs and how hard we work and the stress we go through, we get so, at least I do, I get so engulfed into my life, but, try and, be a better person and be involved in things outside of work.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And Greg has done that with his partners. He's built ArtsUp LA, which is a nonprofit, Theater by the Blind, Rex and Friends, which is disabled musicians. It's a great organization here in Los Angeles. They have a theater here. They do productions throughout the year. We'll talk a little bit about a documentary that's going to be coming out on them. And we, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the marketing side of it, right? Because at the end of the day, they built a business. It's not easy to build a freaking business, right? And it's a thriving business. It's been around for 20 years, plus. And at the underpinning of it is they're really doing good things. We have a lot of non-for-profit clients, and we talk a little bit about what it takes to get response and impulse to occur. But at the end of the day, it is a business and it needs to make money. And so hopefully there's some people here that'll donate and go to the productions and stuff like that. And we have some cards on the deck. There's a little tease here. He does something pretty crazy cool in the beginning.
He does.
Stick around. Greg Shane, ArtsUp LA. Donate, watch. Great guy.
Get up on your feet. This is a shakedown. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it.
Welcome to this episode of Let's Make Millions. I'm Rob Medved, CEO of Canella Media. I'm here with my managing partner, Bill Raymond, and Tofu.
Tofu in the house, his first podcast.
Our
What's
special
up, Tofu?
guest. Yeah, we have a special guest today, our friend Greg Shane from ArtsUp LA. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good to have you in the house.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's Make Millions. Normally, we're talking a lot more about direct response marketing, how people bring products to life, how they make money doing so. But at Canella Media, we have a lot of clients that are nonprofit. We have a big roster. We do a lot of work on television, social media with nonprofits. And Greg, you have a great story about starting a nonprofit here in Los Angeles called ArtsUp LA.
ArtsUp LA, yeah. It's an incredible nonprofit. We work with at-risk youth, military veterans, individuals of all different disabilities, and one of our main programs is Theater by the Blind. We're the only all-blind theater company in the country.
That's crazy.
And we transform lives one show at a time.
That's wonderful. We love what you do. This episode is going to be a little bit more about the charitable effort that you've brought to life, but we'll talk a little bit about, marketing it, because at the end of the day, nonprofits are a business like any other, and you have to market. And it's as difficult selling a product as it is raising money from somebody.
That's true.
And getting them to have that emotional response, that connection, and getting the impulse and actually do what they need to do to keep you in business and keep you doing the great things that you do. So we're going to get into all of that. But you and I have known each other for a while now. We hang out in Santa Monica and
R&D Kitchen.
There you go. R&D. Shout out. Free burgers, please.
Lettuce wraps.
Yeah. But one of the first times I met you, we got into your story a little bit when we got to know each other, and you told me that you grew up in LA. You went to where did you go to school? You went to
Crossroads High School.
Crossroads, where a lot of
Baron Davis, UCLA.
I used to play basketball against him on the court, and he used to drain threes on me every single time.
I love it.
That's got to be quite a yearbook that you look back at when you look
absolutely.
at your class and stuff like that. But you came out of there. It's a very creative environment. Most everybody comes out and gets into the arts in some way. You came out of there and decided to go after the biggest moneymaker in the arts community, magic. Is that right?
That is true.
You were going to become a magician. You became a magician.
I was hooked when I had a rabbit disappear in my hands and turn into a newspaper, and then the rabbit appeared on the other side of the stage by Harry Blackstone Jr., and he gave me the rabbit after the show, and I named it Blackstone, and from there on, I took off with magic and auditioned for the Magic Castle at 13 years old. and became a junior member there, and then soon after traveled the world doing magic. So,
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I love magic. So
That's really
Isn't
cool.
that
I
wild?
had no idea.
So do you know what the Magic Castle is? Of course.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I've been there like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, it's super fun.
Have you guys been here? Have you been to the Magic Castle? Oh, you have? I haven't been there yet. He's promising me we're going to go because you got to know a magician to get in.
correct. Yeah, it's an exclusive club, and you got to have a pass from a magician to get into the club and say "Open Sesame" to the doors that open up. So
Are
it's
you allowed to say that on air? The secret code?
Well, we'll edit that part out.
Maybe. So, and you go to the Magic Castle and you have dinner and there's a show or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah, there's all these showrooms, and the best magicians in the world perform there, and there's all these hidden passages and stuff like that.
Did you ever perform there?
I did perform there. I was one of the youngest ever to perform at the castle. And the close-up gallery was my little space.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing place to perform, and kind of took off my whole career in magic. Actually, the Magic Castle sponsored me to go to Germany to compete in the Olympics of Magic called FISM, which is the Federation of International Society of Magicians. And they have the Olympics every 3 years, just like they do for all the sports. And the Magic Castle was my sponsor, and the president of the Magic Castle actually sponsored me to go, and I placed 4th in the world at that time.
No kidding.
Nice work.
So, like anything, you haven't been a practicing magician for
I am
10,
so
20
out
years.
of
You're
practice.
so out of it.
I haven't.
But we were at dinner the other night, and I said, I'm like, dude, you got to know some tricks still. And we were signing the bill. He was signing the bill, and he went like this with his pen, and it was gone. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? So you still know what you're doing to some degree. I said, surprise Bill today. I said, come brush off the dust on that pack of cards and bring something today so we can see a little sleight of hand or something.
I'm
Are
in.
you ready?
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm
All
excited.
right. So I'll take these
You want me to
guys
clear
off.
this off? What do we need to do here?
All right. Well, I just happen to have a deck of cards with me. Lucky for us, all right? All right, Bill. This one's for you. Grab a card, anyone you want. Okay, look at it. Remember what it is. I'll turn my back.
Can I see it?
Show it to Rob.
Okay.
Okay, it starts off pretty simple. So just say stop anytime you like.
Stop.
Anytime you want, put your card back. Pretty simple, right? But now it's where it gets complicated. A lot of times people ask me how I take a deck of cards, shuffle them up, and still find the chosen card. Do you know what the secret is?
No.
I have a trained eye. It's this one, actually. No, it's this one. If you notice, there's some cards that look a little different from the rest of the cards in the deck. Now, you could have taken any card, right?
Yep.
But one card looks just a little different from the rest of the cards in the deck. What was the name of your card?
Ace.
Of?
Spade.
The Ace of Spades.
Dude.
I'll take that card, I'll put it down right here. Can you put the plant on top of that so it can't go anywhere? Now, Bill, I don't know if I told you this before I began the trick. I actually placed a card in my pocket. It's blue-backed. It matches the Ace of Spades. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it was a coincidence, right? It wasn't a coincidence, but let's try it again, all right? We'll take the Ace, put it on top. Rob, take anyone you want. Free choice. Doesn't matter. Would you like to change your mind, or are you happy with the mind you have?
I'm happy with the mind I have.
You like that one? All right, show it to Bill. I'll turn my back. Now, the Ace has been down there the entire time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, put your card back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give the deck a quick turn like this, and you're not going to believe it. That fast, your card jumped to the top. Hold your hand out just like that. That fast, your card, the Queen of Hearts. Put your other hand on top of the Queen.
That's not true.
That's not your card?
No.
Oh, hold on. I told you you're not going to believe this. I got a surprise for you. Watch this. Keep your hands right there. Do you remember the Ace? The Ace
You better not fucking
is
show
now the
me.
Queen. And the
Oh
Queen is now the 10.
Woo! Okay. You know what you're doing.
Wow.
There you go.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.
That's fantastic, dude.
Thank you.
Even Tofu likes it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tofu. Thank
That's
you, Tofu.
amazing.
I'm glad you like it, Tofu. And
Dude, well, thank you for that. Was unbelievable.
change the card.
You still got it.
Yeah, still, brush up the hands and
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. All right. So, fantastic. I mean, that's unbelievable, right?
Unbelievable.
Mind blown. Okay.
It freaks me out a little bit, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
it gives me the
Yeah, we're gonna
Creepy
play
though.
that back in slow mo, Patrick. and see
You
what-
might
what
be
happened
able
here.
to see what's going on in slow motion if you
Nah,
go
we're not gonna do
really slowly.
that. We're gonna keep our reality suspended here.
I
But
like it.
let's get back to ArtsUp LA. So tell us a story. So you came out of high school. You went to Tulane.
Yeah, I went to Tulane, and I met Brian Caldwell there, who actually co-founded the organization with me. And one day we finished a play, and we were just like, what now? And like start our own theater company. And at the same time, I was volunteering for a group called Changing Perceptions, where they were working with visually impaired people and telling their story. And I kind of saw a whole niche. I was like, wouldn't it be amazing to take blind people and give them a chance to do big performances and memorize a stage? So I came up with this whole concept with mats, where they would put these different mats down in different formations, and that would be their like guide, kind of like Braille on their feet.
So Braille for people to run around on the stage.
Exactly, yeah. So it's
That's crazy.
So when you see the shows with Theater by the Blind, you actually can't tell anyone's blind on stage. They enter the stage on their own. They exit the stage on their own. They do choreography. They have knife fighting in the new show that's coming up, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. Tease that.
Yeah.
And
Wait, did you say knife fighting?
they do have knife fighting, yes.
Knife fighting by the blind.
Yeah,
Jeez,
knife
that's
fighting by the
interesting.
blind, and we've had everything from skateboarding to rollerblading to doing big magic illusions in the middle of stage. And
So you came out of Tulane. You wanted to be an actor.
I came out of Tulane, and I wanted to be an actor for about a hot second.
Yeah,
and
as
then,
most, right?
And then I realized that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I got my master's in educational theater through NYU. I studied in London, Dublin, Brazil,
Nice.
and Puerto Rico. Worked with almost every population out there. I actually directed Macbeth with prisoners in Dublin in a maximum facility prison.
Oh my god.
And that was just an absolutely crazy experience.
But they loved it, I bet.
They did love it, but it was actually so scary because all these people were actual killers, and you thought that they were, on the verge of
Yeah, they had it in them.
killing me.
So,
They could draw.
how early in your life did you know that you wanted to be in drama? Like, be like a thespian?
So this is a really funny story. So when I got to college, I started off as a psychology major. And because I was in New Orleans, I was never making the 8 a.m. class. So I ended up getting a D in the class, and that was my major. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I'm going to really fail out of school.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about what I can do, and something that was familiar to me was magic. And the tie-in was magic and theater. And I was like, well, maybe I'll take this acting class. And so I go, and part of the acting class is you have to audition for the plays. And it was kind of really funny because I did the audition, and the next day I go to school, and there's a name on this list. And I had no idea of anything about callbacks. I mean, none of this was totally foreign to me. So I thought I was in trouble. So I go upstairs to the professor, and I'm like, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry if I did it. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he was so confused. And he's like, you just got called back for the show. So that was kind of an eye-opening experience for me. And, that was the beginning of my acting. I did, plays through college. And I thought, like I said, for a hot second, I was going to act it. And then, I just didn't want to do the whole Hollywood world.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. So
you came back to Los Angeles. You opened up a theater company.
Yeah.
Somehow this transformed through meeting your partners that started this ArtsUp LA with you.
Yeah, so
into
when
what it
Changing
is.
Perceptions came about, when I was working with the people telling their stories, the lady that ran the program passed away, and there was no one left to take care of these actors or support them or give them a direction. So I was like, we got to do something. I turned to Brian and Colin, and I was like, we have to take them in another way and, propel them forward. And that's one thing that's really incredible about the people we work with, whether it's, the different people, musicians with different disabilities or the veterans or...
Yeah, let's stop there for a second because it's not just about theater by the blind. It's not
Correct.
just about putting on plays. You also do musicals.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the one that you have coming up, but you also have a band, what is it, Rex?
Rex and Friends, yeah.
Rex and Friends, which is disabled musicians.
Yeah, and the main person that started it was Rex Lewis Clack, and he's a musical savant. And he can hear a song one time and play it perfectly. He's totally blind, has autism, and actually learned how to play Beethoven before he could say the word mama.
Wow.
Jesus.
I mean, he is so incredible. And, he's like a Stevie Wonder kind of piano player. And so Rex and Friends he's the main keyboard player. And then there's all these different singers as part of it, and people that play guitar, and it's really an incredible group. I mean, they're extraordinary musicians with different disabilities.
Are most people that blind, are they blind from day one, or are they blind like as life goes on? Like, is there
Yeah, so that's a great question. So people who go blind later in life, they have kind of an experience of what the world was like, and I think they have an easier time with navigation and stuff like that. People who were blind since birth, working with them on trying to get them to understand different emotions and colors and stuff like that. That's a totally different approach to that.
Yeah, it's in the mind's eye.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as related to, based on reality of what you know.
Yeah, and related to me, I was basically born blind in one eye.
So you're blind in your right eye?
My right eye, yeah. 3 weeks old, they operated on me and removed all the stuff that allows you to see. And I have a fake pupil, and I had to patch my good eye for several years. Mm-hmm. So I experienced what it's like to be a blind person. And, I can tell you firsthand, it's a very challenging thing when it comes to movement. Mm-hmm. You feel lost in space. You don't know where to go. And I think that's what Theater by the Blind is so amazing at doing. It really provides this opportunity for them. One of the things we do is they run across the stage in a full sprint. The first day of rehearsal, I have them run as fast as they can, and they follow sound cues of me snapping my fingers. And
so you're training to trust, to understand the stage,
to understand the stage, and to learn that they can let go. I have had actors that have never been without their cane ever in their life, and the first day of rehearsal, I'm like, gotta put your cane away. This is a
big move.
You
Leap
gotta
of
put
faith.
your cane away, yeah, and that sometimes results in tears. And
oh my God, it's so empowering. I can imagine.
Yeah. So
and you're working with people that are exceptionally talented. Right.
Well,
Let's talk about that. This isn't just giving an outlet to people that I might have an interest in theater. These are talented people.
Well, I would say that they've never acted, honestly, when they first walk into the room.
Okay.
And that's what's really interesting about how...
So you've trained everybody to become what we see now?
I do that.
That's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, so I think that is something, because of my sensitivity to blindness, I think I can connect to them in a different way that other people might not, and understand different ways and think differently. Yesterday we were doing some... stage combat where one of the actors was kicking another actor, and they were both totally blind. So they had to figure out how to know how far they were in space from each other and stuff like that. And I think it's always about trying to figure out a different way to approach it. How would they see it?
Yeah. You've told me something about this. You were explaining to me how there's certain blind people that have an ability, almost like a sonar capability.
Yeah, echolocation.
Okay.
Yeah, echolocation is something that some blind people have the ability.
It's called what?
Echolocation.
Echolocation.
Like
okay.
bats, right?
Yeah, so they can actually snap or make a clicking noise with their mouth, and they can see the world around them, and it works as they can hear the sound bouncing
Vibrating.
off. Yeah, and they can play basketball. I mean, there's people that can do anything with echolocation. It's a really rare skill to learn, but it's an incredible thing that blind people can do.
Well, because if you think about it, you almost have to adapt, and they use their other senses besides their sight to figure out what's going on.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So is everybody in Theater by the Blind completely blind?
They're not total, all of them, but some of them are partial. I would say 80, maybe 70% of them are total, and 30% of them are...
And you've been, so there's Theater by the Blind, then you have Rex and Friends, which is the instrumental support singers, and then you also work with veterans.
Yeah, so the veteran program I'm really proud of. We started it years ago in actually a facility that was working with drug and rehab program called New Directions, and I just saw very quickly how powerful it was for them to tell their story. And what we do is they tell their story, and we create plays around their stories. And they're instrumental in writing the plays, and it's truly transformative. I mean, we did a show recently around military sexual trauma, and this woman had never spoken about it in front of men. And she was in a room of men telling her story, and she's crying, and it was just such a powerful experience.
Yeah.
And she said after the show, she felt completely different about how she could talk about military sexual trauma.
Yeah, got vulnerable in front of the crowd that actually was part and parcel of the
Exactly.
infrastructure
Yeah.
that created the trauma for her.
So
in the
it's
first place.
really a powerful program.
For sure.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. You're doing incredible stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So for the people that want to be part of the theater, how do you go out and find them, or how do they find you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, luckily we've had a lot of press over the years. We've been in the LA Times, we've been in NBC, CBS, and so people have found out about Theater by the Blind. That's because that's our flagship program. And ArtsUpLA.org is the website for people to learn all about all of our programs. Mm-hmm. And, people who come to our shows, they come back. Mm-hmm. There's a real following. They get really invested in learning who these people are.
Yeah.
Because, it's much more than just putting up a show. It's really a transformative experience.
Yeah, and there's somebody, I have a little insight into something here, which is somebody in the industry in Hollywood got word of what you're doing, and they are coming out with a feature film documentary on you, and they followed you, and they have how many hours of footage did they?
They have hundreds of hours of footage.
Hundreds of hours of footage of you and the Theater by the Blind, because it's such an emotional, incredible story. And they actually started filming you in the pandemic, right? So there's a lot of footage and emotion, and we can't talk too much about it.
I can talk a little bit about just the experience itself. They followed us for years, and it was just such an incredible opportunity to watch the Theater by the Blind and Rex and Friends lives. It's going to be unfolding in front of the audience, and I think that's going to be something really amazing to watch. The performance was sold out to hundreds of people.
It was almost 1,000 people.
Yeah, there were almost 1,000 people in attendance.
Stevie Wonder, you had some people.
Yeah. Stevie Wonder was in attendance opening night, and
that's great.
Meant so much to the cast. It meant so much to the cast, and having him in the audience was really a special thing. Actually, the documentary team invited him to the show, so that was really wonderful. And you're gonna have to stay tuned and see what happens.
This is a legit thing with real production behind it. It's going to be on a major platform, so we're looking so forward to seeing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for our viewers that are in LA or on air, where can they find the show? Where can they watch it at? Like, where is your theater?
So our show and our theater is at the Blue Door in Culver City, and it's just a fantastic, intimate space. Actually, one thing that's really special about the theater is the theater was basically all the components were donated. So we got the carpet, we got the floor donated, Lady Gaga's curtain was donated. We got the tech director of Lady Gaga to donate all the lights and the sound equipment, and our contractor donated building the whole space. So it's a really special place that's like a home full of love and entertainment. So you got to go check it out.
Yeah, I love that too. Theater for built on love, full of love. When the productions are done, can people watch them on how is it streaming? Is it available afterwards on your website?
Absolutely. If you missed the show, which you probably shouldn't, but if you did miss the show, you can tune into a YouTube and you'll be able to watch the whole production of Romeo Rocks the 80s. So if you're in London and you can't make the airline flight, it's going to be okay.
And I'm not going to compare what I've been through with someone that's blind, but I have a speech impediment. So seeing this and seeing people that go on stage, it makes such a big difference. And once you can start to take those little steps to become, more out there and just more comfortable in front of people, it really does help. So this is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you do great work. So part of this is you have to raise money because you're only in business because you have to be a marketer as well.
Correct.
And so talk a little bit about how you raise money.
So we raise most of our money through government grants, and we get grants from different local areas too as well, and the California Arts Council. But when it comes to private donors, it's really about getting people to the shows and having them feel the impact.
Yeah. And then they'll get that emotional response.
They get the emotional response, and they want to get involved.
We deal with that in direct response. Some of the most important pieces of footage that we can bring to social media or on television is when you have somebody that experiences a product to transform their life, whether it's losing weight or making money or
Yeah.
whatever. And you get that true emotion. It comes across on film, and then it's the identification of the consumer that sees themselves in that
Totally.
that gets them to impulse and trust. And what you do is on such a higher level than the crap we do sometimes. But not that I want to compare it, but there is a
there's definitely
marketing
that.
point
Yeah, you have
to
to
what
see
you
the
do.
person. Yeah.
Sure.
Because we have a lot of clients that are nonprofits that our goal on their bequest and our responsibility is to drive the highest ROI for them when they spend $1, make sure they get $2 back, kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
a big part of that is so tied to the emotion.
Yeah.
And you see that with all of the nonprofits out there. The ones that work are the ones that almost bring tears to your eyes when you see the commercials. So
Yeah, so I mean, no, what we could maybe do is we could look at their footage and maybe cut some ads for you and see if we can help, with your social media and see if we can get more back
That'd be
from
fantastic,
it. That's
yeah.
what we do for a living.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
we can-
Rob's already, but you guys have both, this company's been so fantastic for us already. I mean, you created this incredible graphic for our upcoming show, which we're really excited about, which we'll probably talk about in a couple minutes here. And, I feel so supported by you guys and everything you've done. And Rob, you and I have just become really good friends,
Yeah.
and I value that friendship so much. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, Bill, you'll come with us to R&D Kitchen next time. We'll have
I'm there.
some lettuce wraps.
well, it's good. We appreciate everything you do. And so let's talk a little bit about the upcoming show. It's Romeo Rocks the 80s.
Yeah, Romeo Rocks the 80s.
Okay.
I wanted to really challenge the group after the Braille Legacy. We did the Braille Legacy, and it was such a huge musical. And I thought, wouldn't it be incredible to have them do Shakespeare? Mm-hmm. And they've really done such a wonderful job. Some of the people have never acted in their entire life, have walked through those doors. And one of them, I was telling you earlier, didn't want to put her cane away. And then she got up and did Beat It choreography. And it was just incredible,
Yeah.
So we're super excited about the show. There's 12 blind actors in the show from Theater by the Blind and a band of about 7 to 8 musicians on
Yep.
keyboards and beats. They're doing, DJing live, and it's going to be an incredible performance.
Well, we're looking forward to it. As part of Let's Make Millions, we have a facet called Let's Give Millions. As part of supporting ArtsUp LA, we're going to continue to help you in social media and see what we can do on that front to really get your message out and help you raise money. But we're also going to take a crew from Canela Media and all our friends and help you sell out one of those shows
Awesome,
you have coming
yeah.
up. And
Can't wait.
when this airs, you always have productions throughout the year. So it's not just about
Correct.
Romeo Rocks the 80s, but
Yeah.
it's about the next production and the next show. And incredible live theater, and you do such great work, and we are honored to have you here. And keep it up, man.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, you guys are great. You're doing awesome stuff, and you're like Romeo Rocks the 80s. You're rocking the world here.
Yeah.
So
I
thank you.
love
All right, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
All right, brother.